Hello, Dumalang, and welcome back to Mgozi 101 with your girl, Mimi Nobody. Please do subscribe and hit that like button. I love you, and let's get right into it. The Thabo Bester story has been in the news for quite some time now, you guys, but you find that people only know bits and pieces of him, and they do not know the full story. They do not know where this guy comes from. They just know what he did, and leading, they don't know they can't get the full picture. So I've decided that I'm gonna break down Thabo Bester. You know, I dug a little and then I found some things about him and I compiled everything into one, and I hope you enjoy the coverage of today. Although some people say that Thabo Bester started lying and stealing at age 4, South Africans only became aware of his crimes in 2011. At that time, he was in his early 20s. So he was known for luring young women by promising them modeling jobs, but just ended up raping them and robbing them of their belongings. In October of 2011, the police used CCTV footage to identify the person who was responsible for the violent sexual crimes that were committed. They found that Thabo Bester was the culprit, and they said that he did not even try to hide his face when luring his victims. He did not care about the cameras. He also ran an elaborate email scam targeting women, telling them that international modeling scouts were interested in them. And also, if the others say they can't move overseas, he would just tell them, all right, just hit me up and I'll get you a job At some point, when he was 17 years, he knew that the police were onto him. And so 4 days before he was arrested for fraud, he denied raping any models, but admitted to stealing from them. He was then arrested for fraud and served 2 years of a 3-year sentence under the name Thabo Magagulu, one of his many aliases. He actually had 13 names that he used to use when he didn't want to use his real name. He was then released on parole in 2011. He was released into the custody of his parent. And I remember hearing his mother talk about that time when she had to go and sign for him. And after some time, he disappeared. That is because he broke his parole and went on the run, hiding in plain sight. The police believed that he stole at least 2 to 3 laptops daily and was running scams where he asked women to pay for auditions, and he would book photo shoots for them only to run away with the photographers' things as well as the models' things. After breaking his parole, he used another one of his names, which is Tom Kelly, and he was flown to Cape Town with some models using a Joburg charter company. He did not pay those models, and the proof of payment he sent was fake. He rented 2 buses and a photographic crew for a photo shoot with 13 models. He arranged lunch for everyone, and as they were busy eating, he fled with the photographic equipment which was left in the bus. He also charged models a fee to be a part of the shoot and ended up stealing their cell phones after he fooled them, telling them the cell phones had to be scanned for security purposes. In between scamming and stealing for the models and the photographic crews that he used to hire, he still went on to lure women and rape them. Most of these ladies were from Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban. One of the women who crossed paths with this monster was not as lucky as the others, and she lost her life at the hands of Thabo Bester. Her name was Nomfundo Kyulu. I hope I'm saying that right. Nomfundo Kyulu, who worked as a car saleswoman. She sold Thabo Bester a BMW in 2011 and later dated him. One day he just stabbed her to death at a B&B in Cape Town. When he was finally arrested in 2012, he blamed his criminal life on the death of his grandmother and said that he had been raped as a young boy and he had been gang raped in prison. He claimed to not know who his parents were. He still denied raping the girls and said that he is a father of 3 girls and would not want anyone to rape them. In August 2012, in court, he described murdering his girlfriend Nomfundo Kulu as a mistake. Bester said that Nomfundo was the only one who had stood by him when people accused him of crimes in Durban. He was quoted saying, "She was a good friend. I knew her family. She was a good person. She believed in me." Wow. He went on to say that murdering Nomfundo was a mistake. He was sentenced for his crimes, and that was that, you guys. And it went quiet until over 10 years later, which is last year, when he turned up burned in his prison cell. Except it wasn't him who burned in that prison cell, because 2 months after that, he was spotted somewhere in Sandton making groceries without a care in the world. And only now we have learned that that body actually belonged to a very young man by the name of Katlego Bereng, who is about to be buried. This teaches me how conniving and how calculating this guy is, you guys. When you listen to people talk about him, it's like they're only rubbing the surface. But under that surface is just a lot. This guy is just a piece of work. And his reign of terror had went on for like forever. And I'm just hoping that it has finally come to an end. We still don't know who in the big league, the officials in the government is involved in this thing. So we don't know what Thabo Bester is holding against some of these people. We don't know what they can do or how low they're willing to go for this guy. So I'm just hoping that this is the end of his terror and that he will get what he deserves. Because letting, if he's in prison, we don't know if he really is in prison. Because we learned that he used to go to vacations whilst in prison. So we don't know if this guy will ever really get the full wrath of the law, and if justice will ever be seen for all his victims. Wow, you guys, that's it from me for today. And I hope whoever was lacking here in the Katabaena ya Thabo Bester, it was like a full picture of who and what this man really is. But before I go, I'm gonna give you like all 13 of his aliases. And they are Thomas Bester, Tom Bester, Thabo Tom Bester, Tom Kelly, Thomas Kelly Bester, Thomas Berter, TK, Thomas Kelly Young, Thomas Magagula, Thabo Magagula, Kelly Johnstone, Rufus Mahopo, Tom Rufus Reddy. There you go, you guys. And when I see all these Thomases, I remember that in the list of people that used to visit him a lot, there was a Thomas Gumede. I wonder if it's not just a made-up name for someone else. Do let me know what you think, you guys. And please don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button on your way out. I love you, and I'll see you in my next one. Titi, ote, ke tla le bona ka nqane.